Okay. Restream is getting data through.
I just want to throw out there, I've just realised something.
Yeah.
We're streaming at 1080-60 for the lols.
Well, good news is Twitch has got stuff through, YouTube's got stuff through. So
Fantastic.
we are all good. Everything's functioning. I'll just check the audio.
We've not blue screened yet either.
Well, technically our thing's a blue screen.
86.
So there we go. We're live.
Woo!
Ooh. Skazz?
Yeah, mate.
Oh, I heard you disappeared, so I was like, oh.
Freaked him out. No, I just realised
It's,
21% of my processor is being used to do this stream.
That's fine. You've got another 80%. What are you complaining about?
Yeah, but what if I want to load up a Pornhub tab or something on top?
You're going to have to wait.
Oh.
No wanking doing the podcast. I've told you before.
I'm sorry.
Your noise reduction doesn't work on that. They can hear it.
Like tapping against the mic stand.
Yeah.
God, I wish, mate. It's not that big. Fucking tweezers is a micro movement.
It's the creaking is the problem.
Oh, sorry. I'll work on that next time. I'll find a way to isolate the stand.
and the groaning is really disturbing.
I just thought that was my normal breathing.
Well, it's hard to tell. Normally we can hide it as such, but sometimes it's hard to tell.
Sometimes it is hard to... Hey, if we're playing, like, was it Deep Rock Galactic? Just pretend I'm playing with the digging machine.
Dig!
Fall through the floor.
Oh, that was so funny.
That was fantastic.
I afterwards I thought to myself, you remember a few years back, those Chilean miners that got buried underground?
Yeah.
And they had to do a daring rescue and dig down to find them. That was basically our version of it. You found yourself stranded underground, and I had to come rescue you.
I'm proud. I'm so glad you found. I mean, I didn't even realise. Seriously, Ram. The thing is, I was standing on. So when you can dig through like certain areas into like another zone, or into another part of the cave, it's a different colour of ground. So it's not like your standard like grey wall, like cave wall. It's like
it's like a sort of dirt coloured, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I dug through.
Well, you could dig through it. It just happened to go into a massive cavern.
Yeah, it happened to go to, oh my god, my legs have ended up where my face is supposed to be.
It was perfectly logical. It was like, you can dig it. Yes, you can. You'll die, but you can. If only there was some sort of map system you could have access to see.
Yeah. If only I'd have checked.
Yeah.
I was just like, that'll be fine.
That was funny because also I heard you go, oh no, I've fallen through. And we just looked down, we just see the big cross over your dead body. It's like, oh.
And Zabe was like, shall I go down and get him? It's like, no, mate, don't. Just don't.
Yeah. Zay, we found the hole, and Zay was like, going to go, don't jump down there.
Yeah, don't jump.
Yeah, this ain't going to end well. But I found you. I felt proud when I found you, saw your body there. I was like, oh, I saved him.
He rezzed me.
I raised you.
That was the egg hunt, wasn't it?
Well, no, it wasn't the egg hunt. No, it was a normal mining mission, I think. The egg hunt was the first one we did.
No, because we did another egg hunt, didn't we? And
we did 2 egg hunts, one refinery one, which we got mullered on, and one just normal mining. Yeah. Stay away from the big blubby uppy thing.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah. Anyway, we probably mentioned ourselves. Good anybody on Suffolk Ram?
Skazz, yes.
We're episode 153 of the Randers podcast.
Woo! 153! Made it.
Yeah, we have.
We're nearly pros, mate.
We have. We're pushing, just over a year's time, we're pushing 200.
Mm-hmm. Not long, and we'll have our quarantine anniversary. No,
it's true, March.
Mm-hmm.
No, well, just think, guys. Next podcast is in December.
The year has gone by so fast and without any trouble.
Yeah. I think there'll be so many people celebrating this year gone. We have got the grand total of 1, including this one, 2, 3 podcasts left this year.
I just want to throw out there, if anyone has the nerve to go, Happy New Year, I'm going to punch them so hard in the fucking face. Here's the 2021! Look, I'm going to break this to people, alright? I don't know if they've realised or not, but when New Year's Day comes, that doesn't automatically reset every problem you had the year prior. So, old Rona ain't going to just disappear.
No, the alcohol helps on New Year's Eve.
Well, maybe.
That's what I find anyway.
The alcohol totally gets rid of Rona if you drink enough of it to not wake up the next morning.
Exactly. That's the way around it, you see. That's the way to do it.
There you go. Problem solved.
I heard about this guy who I was listening to one of our podcasts listening to, these all do songs. They talk about this guy who decided to go live in a cave.
Yeah.
Like 200 meters down in a cave with no artificial light, just all in the darkness. Mm-hmm. Sort of like basically, like, it's like the 1970s. He went down there, I think, for 6 months. And it absolutely totally, while I was in there, fucked up his sleep system. He'd go to sleep and be asleep for like 50 hours.
Oh, fantastic.
And he was like, and at one point they sort of synced his diary. His diary was like on day 40, but it's actually more like day 60. Because it actually fucked up his entire sort of sleep schedule.
That sounds fantastic.
So the solution is we need to all go live in caves.
Yeah.
And then we just sleep the whole thing out.
That's it. You know, what's the problem? Just disconnect from the internet for a bit and just go live in a cave.
Exactly. If we go live in a cave, and for once, this is practical advice. We always say jokingly, "Oh, go live in a cave and get out of it." But actually, fact,
what have you been doing, living in a cave? Well, actually, yes.
Actually, yes. In so many ways, it isn't like that.
Oh dear. Good time.
So, Skazz, what game have you not been playing?
I haven't been playing any games, mate. Well, that's actually a lie because I've had a family game day today. But they're all games that we've played before. I realised that I had actually purchased Minecraft Steve for Smash Brothers Ultimate. Didn't realise I'd done that. So
yeah, but you just like, oh, DLC, buy and download all of it.
Yeah, Clipmob, that actually seems to be the case. I was like, oh yeah, Dad, don't worry about it. Minecraft Steve is part of Season Pass 2. I'm like, duh, I don't think I've got Season Pass 2, because I was only interested in one of the characters from Season Pass 1, and they're like, no, you've got it, Dad. Like, no, I haven't, kids.
Yes, you have, Dad. I bought it for you.
That would not surprise
with your
me.
money.
It would not surprise me with my two. Dad, can I play as Minecraft Steve? I was like, we ain't got it, mate. It's like, yeah, you have. It's like, fine, whatever. And it turns out, yes, we did. So I got to whoop the shit out of Minecraft Steve today. That was good. Fantastic. And then we played some Animal Crossing, and then I realised, thank fuck, my batteries weren't charged on my control pad, so I got to exit early. But no, other than that, the only game I've really been dicking around in is that Genshin Impact thing. And I have a correction. So in the last episode, I said it was an MMO. And I was going on just first impressions. I was told that it had big old multiplayer fluff in it. And it looked very much like it could have had a lot of multiplayer fluff in it. However, it turns out it isn't an action MMORPG. It is an action RPG with weak multiplayer tacked on. So, when I basically said it's like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, that's almost bang on. Majority of the mechanics are Breath of the Wild. Cooking, fishing, climbing, gliding, finding checkpoints, waypoints on the maps. Dungeons are pretty simple they don't have huge bosses or anything, and you can run them really quickly. Still gorgeous. Music's all right. But that multiplayer just kept on bugging me. I'm like, this can't be an MMO. It just doesn't feel like an MMO. Where's the rest of the UI? When does this unlock? And so I was talking to a couple of mates who had already played it. And they were like, yeah, to unlock the multiplayer component, you have to get to world level 20. And I was like, okay, so not character level 20, because you can level up your character to, say, I think the first level cap because there are multiple level caps. As you get to a certain thing and complete a part in the story, it will say now you can go to a higher level.
Okay.
But yeah, you can. So the first level cap's 20, and you can get to that by just literally as you start the game and you do little quests, you can get like, I can't remember the actual what they're called, but they're like little books, like travelers' books. They're items, and there are like 3 tiers of them, and you can use those to grant you experience to level up your character. So you literally just go to the character menu, press C, click level up, and it'll say you've got 40 of these books. They're worth about 5k experience each. Have at it. And you can literally go from like level 1 to 20 in seconds.
Okay.
Your gear isn't necessarily going to be that high, but so far I haven't found anything that's even remotely challenging, shy of falling and breaking your legs. There's something that I seem to do in games these days, is fall and break my legs. Done that a couple of times in Genshin so far. Yeah, it's not a thing. Just like in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, your stamina runs out, you fall 50 feet, your legs break. Who'd have thought? But yeah, so when you get to world level 20, apparently you then unlock the ability to summon other human players into your game. I can't comment because I haven't got to world level 20. This seems to be a hell of a fucking slog to get your world level up. Your character levels...
It's close to Dark Souls in that regards than to an actual MMO, really.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So once you get to level 20, world level 20, you can summon in other human players. You can invite them into your world, from what I've been told. And what that allows other players to do is that Genshin Impact, you can have up to 4 players, I think, on your team. You have teams, parties. Mm-hmm. And you can control each character one at a time with a maximum team of 4. And you swap on the fly. There's like a 2-second cooldown every time you change character kind of thing. What happens is basically when you have multiple people in, they take control of one of the characters rather than you swapping out to it. And that is as deep as the multiplayer apparently goes. The other players can't come in with characters that they've unlocked, because you can unlock characters in Genshin Impact. Or Genshin Impact, or what the fuck ever. So if I've only got, say, 4 characters, we only have the choice of those 4 characters. I don't know if that's entirely accurate, because I haven't played far enough to find that one out. But yeah, so it's not an action MMORPG, as you say. It's more akin to Souls. In that you can invite other players in. I still think it's pretty fun. I still like the world. I still like the voice acting. Although, in wearing headphones now, I've realised there's a bit of a recording quality drop. It sounds a lot better when you're listening to it through your TV speakers from, 11 feet away.
Yeah.
Than when you've got your headphones on. Yeah, it's still fun. It's still fun. It's still nice, and it's free. It's free. It's a full-on action RPG with janky multiplayer that's free. And the fact that you can go, I'm going to go on my phone. I don't know if we can do cross-play if I play on my phone, but the fact that I can go, right, well, I've got to leave the house, I'll resume my quest when I'm like, I don't know, I'm at the office, or I'm on a bus, or something. Can't do that during run or whatever.
You can't do that at the moment.
But like,
leave the house. What are you talking about, man?
But just think though, you could literally sit there and play the quest that you were doing on your phone.
While you leave the living room to go to the toilet, you can sit on the toilet and play your quest.
Exactly, fantastic. But it does. It's weird to me though, because for a game that doesn't have particularly well fleshed out multiplayer, it requires you to be online.
Just a bit. So is that online like DLC type control or DRM type control?
So it's got it's got in-game purchases, and I imagine it's got something to do with that and the way that the saves are handled by the server, not the device. but it still seems a bit wibbly to me.
Yeah.
That it's server based for anything other than pulling down your save.
Yeah. How does it cope with the connection drops and stuff? Do you know?
I've never had one.
Yeah.
I've not had one yet. I'm gonna dick around with it on the phone at some point. So that when let's say I'm not streaming it anymore, I'll try it on the phone. Although I have been told the phone version doesn't support control pads, so I'm not looking forward to it because I hate touchscreen controls.
Yeah.
Touchscreen and motion controls are two things that just make me want to punch people in the face. You know, but I'll give it a go. Still enjoying it, as I say. Just there are just some weird things about it that just don't really add up to me. I would have much preferred if it was an MMO, because it's a gorgeous world. Really is nice, and I think it'd just be rad to rock around with, say, you and Zaber and dick around, do some quests, you know, farm for ore, wreck some mobs, stuff. I was quite looking forward to actually suggesting it at some point, to be fair, because I wanted to know if we could do cross-play between PC and mobile. Because that'd have been really fucking neat. I've been trying to look for different games for all of us to play, and I figured that one would have been an alright one to try, but
My sister's put a request in for a game for us to play.
Oh god, what?
She wants us to play Worms.
Worms? We've already played Worms.
We have, but she wants us to play Worms on one of our game nights. So I'll put it forward to the committee.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm cool with that because I quite like
the committee
Worms.
are free. Yeah, well, she says you are presumably going to do some Christmassy games for around December time. I said, well, Skaz's not a Christmassy person, so
I hate Christmas.
Yeah,
making that
so
clear.
I can't. I don't. There's not many like Christmas themed co-op games I can think of top of my head.
No, you're right. You know, I was just randomly thinking Christmas games. My head went to Max Payne.
Does that have a Christmas level in it?
I don't know. I just remember it starting with snow, so I just seem to instantly assume
it's got a snowy bit. Yeah, snow. It's Christmas. Hitman's got a
it.
snowy bit in it. That's Christmas.
Well, I was thinking about that with films recently as well. I was like, Christmas films, Die Hard. Yeah.
Die Hard is the only Christmas film.
That's a Christmas film. Well, I was like, there's another action film, isn't there? That's a Christmas film, and I was sat there going, what the hell was it though? It wasn't I mean, it is Die Hard, but there's another one. It's a Christmas film, but it isn't Christmas-y, or it takes place on Christmas Day.
Die Hard is very Christmassy.
No, it's the Christmas film.
Oh yeah, it is. It's the best Christmas film ever made. Die Hard's best Christmas film ever made. Fairy Tale of New York is best Christmas song ever made. It's simple as that.
Do you want to know what the actual other Christmas film was?
Go on.
Lethal Weapon 1.
I've never seen it.
You never seen it?
No, I've never seen any Lethal Weapons.
Ah, you savage! What are you
I'll
doing?
look it up. I'll look up for my Friday film night.
It is a Christmas film.
It's set at Christmas.
Yes.
Oh, that's right then.
Because they talk about having Christmas dinner together. There you go. Christmas film.
It's a Christmas film because they talk about Christmas dinner together.
Mm-hmm. Also, random fact, did you know for Lethal Weapon 1, 2, 3, and 4, they use the exact same catering company every time? I forgot what catering company it is, but just random fact, it's the same one.
Right. I don't see why. But sure, I would have thought the studio would have some good contract with them.
Yeah, well, you know, they clearly like the geezers. It was something like Dave's Catering or something like that. So, mate, they really like Dave, don't they?
That's just such a random... That's one of those 4 facts that someone puts out there. There's like, you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel for facts now, aren't you, really? Oh, yeah, they use a catering company called so-and-so's. Is that really a fact? Is that really true? It's like, oh, yeah, this, here's an interesting fact about it. They filmed it on a camera. Oh, good.
Did you not know that?
No, that's an interest. Do you know what? They all films use cameras. That's an interesting fact about films. They all use cameras.
Don't believe you.
It's true. All films use cameras. It's an interesting fact. Don't believe me. Look up. They all use cameras.
Oh, we're only talking live action here, Ram.
You could argue. Well, you can have virtual cameras.
I'm pretty sure that animated films aren't done with. I'm just saying.
I think you'll find that if you load up something like Blender or 3ds Max, they have a virtual camera in there.
Doesn't count.
It's a camera and it's virtual, it's only digital.
It's not a fucking camera.
It is a camera. Does it take a single image and see a set of sequence images and put them together to make one moving image?
So what you're saying is that my print screen key is also a camera?
Effectively, yeah.
Ram.
If you,
now that is totally straight from the bottom.
No. If you took a print screen of something and then you saved it, and then you changed a bit to now print screen and saved it, went into Premiere,
animating my desktop,
line those all up in a one frame each. You've got an animation.
There you go. Print screen. The world's greatest camera.
A print screen animation.
So when my kids go, Dad, can we have a web camera for our computers? I was like, fuck off, mate. You got a print screen.
We need to set up a little macro that takes a print screen and then immediately pastes it into Discord in rapid succession. Job sorted.
So why are you using a web camera then, Rem?
Well, because I'm old-fashioned. I like digital cameras.
Oh, okay. All right. You like using an actual camera?
I like using there are many types of cameras. Print screen's a camera. Blender's got 3D cameras. Even computer games have virtual cameras. So, I like those sort of things. There we go.
Are we saying that, right now, I'm using IRL ray tracing?
Yes, you are. You've got beautiful... I'm looking at your lovely ray tracing going on there. I've got a lovely lens flare effect going on in my camera at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I've added that in After Effects.
High quality graphics right here,
This
mate.
is the
powered by the latest AMD GPUs.
I went to After Effects. My video camera goes through an After Effects filter. The filter is JJ Abrams. Lens flare appears automatically on the screen. Reposition it. Job done.
You look down his filter list at the Abrams.
Yeah,
the JJ.
It just adds a camera flare to what you got.
It could be a black scene. Bam! Lens flare.
Yeah, exactly.
GG, JJ.
Yeah. I mean, he invented the lens flare.
Oh, fuck, you'd think
True fact.
You'd think it.
True fact. I challenged you to find me a picture of a lens flare prior to J.J. Abrams, a true lens flare. He invented them. It's honestly, if you repeat that now, I guarantee that'll end up on IMDB's trivia page at some point. Because they're always worth a laugh. The IMDb trivia pages.
I wouldn't want to argue with people on IMDb, to be fair.
No, their trivia pages are hilarious. That's why I always say straight bottom barrel, because some of the trivia they come up with is absolutely immense.
This film was released once.
Yeah, it is. It does get to those sort of stages.
This film had an audience.
Yeah, it's like there's a film and it could be called like Albert Einstein. The trivia would be based on a real person. That's the sort of trivia you get on IMDb.
Yeah, but there's going to be someone out there going, "Really? Oh my god!"
Yeah,
because
Well, there's some actually that some people now it's actually sort of going on chronology. Some people don't think the Titanic actually happened. They think it was like sort of a story that's entered public domain, which is why there's so many films and TV shows based around it.
I hate humanity.
Yeah. I think it was Travelodge did a survey and they asked people to put like pictures of
Travelodge asked people to review their journey on the Titanic.
They did a survey. They asked people to identify various animals and only 60% of people could identify a sheep. It was that sort of thing. Yeah.
So what you're saying is a lot of these folks come from North Korea.
Yes.
They surveyed the North Korean public.
They did. Until we became big in North Korea, they didn't know what sheep were. Then we became big in North Korea, and ultimately, I've spread the word of sheepness to North Korea.
Well, they just think it's you.
Well, that is true. That is a problem.
They think the average Joe white guy is a sheep.
There's a male sheep in the corner of this room. I'll have you know. You can see him in the back corner of the room.
Well, so just so you know, there he is. There it is. Well, I can't point to it. Ram, point again.
I'll go get him if you want.
Yeah, just show people for the sake of...
I want to go get the little sheep. Where is he? Where is it?
Riveting.
There we are. Come on, Dixon.
So, for the sake of everyone that doesn't know what the fuck a cloud looks like, it's right there.
It's Dixon, the sheep.
And then someone's going to see an actual sheep and go, that's not a sheep, that's not what I saw on that podcast. It's like, no.
I don't know why. He's always so nervous around me. I don't know why.
Yeah, stop looking at his back end, Ram.
He's has got a docked tail. Bless him.
Bless him.
So, good old Dixon. There you go, Dixon.
Nailed it.
So,
there you go.
There you go. Anyway, so that's the all game you've been playing.
Yeah, it's disappointed me a bit. I would have liked more fleshed out multiplayer, but for free, I can't complain, to be honest.
No.
Like, it's a full-blown action RPG. If that was Nintendo, that'd have been a 70 quid game.
Yeah. Well, I think, was it someone in Sony said they don't see a problem with charging up to £90 for a game?
Haven't they started doing that recently with the current gen of consoles? They're like, oh yeah, by the way, new game, £70. And I'm like, why? And they're like, oh, because we're having to do this and that and whatever. And I'm like, fuck off. PC games have looked that good for a decade now. Shove it up your ass. I spend £10 in a Steam sale for some of those games, and they look fantastic. How come? Because the console's more powerful, you've decided you need to do more work.
Oh, the simple reason is that you have to PC. There's no licensing fee to pay.
Oh yeah.
You have to pay Sony and Microsoft the privilege of putting their game on your console.
I'm fucked off right now. You've reminded me of something. You know, I'm a big fan of the fighting game franchise Samurai Showdown.
Yes.
Right. So they've released that game on everything. The reboot, the 2020 remake, which is pretty much the only good thing that came out of 2020, to be honest, shy of my wedding. Which obviously the entire world wished they could have attended, but they didn't, so fuck
it. It was a very exclusive event.
It was. Only the best of the best.
Kylie Minogue, Barack Obama, he really wanted to come, Barack Obama.
I was going to say,
no.
Those were the riffraff.
No. Hey, we couldn't let him in, we couldn't let him in. Unfortunately, the Secret Service would have put a dampener on the whole thing. Yeah. But he was desperate to come. Gabe Newell, I'm really surprised you turned him down.
No, well, mate. I mean, come on.
There are some games. The entire Steam catalogue, and you still didn't let him go.
Well, yeah, because this is part of my problem. You see, he was offering me the entire Steam catalogue, but Sam's Show 2020 ain't on Steam.
Well,
all right, it's on. Ready? PlayStation 4, Xbox, Nintendo Switch. Okay, those are your main consoles. And I'm like, it's finally come out on Switch. They said the PC version's coming out around the same time as the Switch. Where the fuck is the PC version of the Sam Show remake? And just randomly, I don't know how it was I came across it, but it was like, oh, that was it today. I was looking up something. And it said, Samurai Showdown, all finishes 2020 PC. And I was like, I looked for this the other day, and I couldn't find it. Like, the game, I couldn't find it. What's going on? How could they have a video of all these finishes if it's not on the PC yet? Looked at the date of the video, and it was like back in March, April time. I was like, alright, maybe they got an early build. And then my head went, oh, hang on a minute. It's not on Steam. Let me just do a search Oh, it's on the Epic Store exclusively. Fan fucking tastic. Every other Samurai Showdown game, including the new Neo Geo collection that recently came out, that's on Steam. All of them are on Steam. Just not that one.
Oh, well, you're about to, I'm sure you're about to get it eventually. It'll come right eventually.
Sorry, I missed one. It's also on Google Stadia.
Well, there you go. What are you complaining about then?
The fact that fucking Epic keeps stuffing everything up.
Well,
how retarded is that? Every other fighting game I own is on fucking Steam. But Sam Show? No, mate, we're going to put it on fucking Epic. I swear I can't think of another fighting game I own or I want to own that's on Epic. I can't think of anything that's on there.
I'm keeping very quiet about this because I've recently switched over from Unity to Unreal 4 engine. I've been learning that and developing in that. So I'm keeping very quiet about this.
All of Ram's games are going to be exclusive to Epic. I don't mind having
exclusive to Epic for the next 20 years. That's the
I don't mind extra launchers, Ram. I don't, because I've just looked on my machine. I wanted to play Zombie recently. It's a Ubisoft game. Even if you install it through Steam, it installs Uplay. I've got some of the Assassin's Creed games on Uplay, and I've got Watch Dogs and Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I might have another go at Watch Dogs. I've not played that since fucking 1,000 years ago. Why don't I take a crack at that? And I remembered, oh wait, it's on Uplay. So I installed Uplay on the PC. Thing is, I realised something. Whilst I own these games in other launches, I never fucking play them. So even if I've got them, even if I've got it installed, I never click. Oh, let's check and update Origin. Let's click and update Uplay. Never fucking happens. So any game you buy, you practically ignore it. It's on your machine, you just ignore it because it's not with the rest of your fucking games.
I'd say, and this is probably the best time to mention it, but actually I will mention it, is Elite Dangerous is currently free on Epic Store.
Well, that's alright because I already own it.
Yeah. But if you don't own it, well, it's not going to be good because by the time this podcast actually gets out, this will be too late. But if you could go back in time, you could own Elite Dangerous for free on Epic Store.
Do you use Epic for anything, Ram?
Well, I say I've been dabbling with Unreal Engine. I've switched over from Unity to Unreal Engine 4. So I have started using Epic because that's all launched through the Epic launcher, and I've got a few games through Epic Store now as well, free, but they're all the free ones they've been giving out basically. But I mainly use it to launch Unreal Engine and develop the games in Unreal Engine.
Fair enough.
So,
like I say,
I got fed up with Unity. So
interesting because I think Genshin's done in Unity.
Trouble with Unity is that because you have the non-pro and the pro version, and there's certain bits that are removed, which are like for the stage I was at, I was like, it's not worth me paying for the pro version. And there's certain bits that they've not made. There's certain parts that just don't feel like quite finished yet. And the Unreal Engine is more hard. It's more complicated to use. It's definitely high. It's definitely got a steeper learning curve because it uses C++ rather than C#, which makes it more complicated to program in. Because it's different. Well, it's not complicated, but if you come from like programming in other languages like any C#, Java, like that one, it's a pretty massive jump because it's a very old style language. It doesn't really. You think to yourself, why do we do it this way? And you have to start dealing with like memory and stuff. It's a lot more nitty gritty.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot more the just like the itself is like the editing of a what they call blueprint, which what Unity would have as a prefab. They're just so much more advanced. It's just it's funny actually using it. It feels like you've gone from it feels like you've gone from Windows Movie Maker to something like Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro or Sony Vegas. It feels like you took a jump to more sophisticated, more.
You're no longer restricted.
Yeah,
If you can think of it, you can do it. You just have to know how to do it.
And the other thing about the Unreal Engine is you've got access to everything. Their licensing is completely different. So Unreal Engine, it's a full engine. Everything's there. You can make a game, you can release it. Their deal is you don't earn anything until I think once your game turns over, I think it's $100,000, then you start paying them. So for little, very good deal. For little indie devs and stuff like that, you probably never get that far. So actually, it's perfectly good deal. So when I first started using it, I found it really hard, cumbersome to work around it. But now I've been using it for a while. It's like I see why I do it this way. It seemed really counterintuitive, but now I know why. Now I understand it. It actually is better. It's done this way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got some issues with it still. But they're all fairly minor. I said the hardest part is learning C++, which is I've not. It took me once I sort of got some of the mentalities of it. It took me a while to get my head around. Once I got my head around though, it sort of made sense and it sort of clicked with me. And then once you got that sort of initial hump over, everything still works the same way as other languages, so you sort of get your head around it. But yeah, there's a great course. They actually made a proper full-on course, like from start to finish. It's you can pick up on Udemy. I think I pay about £20 for it. I got a voucher to discount it by 9%, pay like £20 for it.
Yeah,
and that takes you literally from bare basics, how to do C++. Literally, the first game, she doesn't use the Unreal Engine. Just done all in C++, just to get the idea of how C++ works. Then it's all integrated, and then gradually you step up until you basically make the last game makes a full first-person shooter.
There you go.
So, and I've been working my way through that, and now I've done that enough. I'm sort of like, okay, I understand why it does it. I still get bits where like, I don't get why we do this. What does this mean? I have to do some reference books, but yeah. So it was a jump to the Unreal Engine, but it's a jump I'm glad I've made. Now I've sort of like dug into it.
Yeah.
So, but I got to the stage where the game I wanted to make, I couldn't see how I could make it in Unity with the features I had, because I was like, I need that feature. I haven't got it. I haven't got the Pro version.
Sure.
And it's just like, it's so cumbersome how it needs to work. It's like, Unreal's just got it built in already. It's already there. So
too many restrictions, and chances are, even if you upgraded to the Pro version, there would still be some things you couldn't do because it didn't go low level enough.
I think the thing about Unreal is Epic have been making game engines for 20, 30 years. 30 years?
A long fucking time.
Early 90s, I think their first Unreal Engine came out. So they know what they sort of know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Unity came out, 20 years ago? Something like that, 10, 15 years ago, something like that came out.
Couldn't comment.
Yeah, so it shows. It shows that there's a little bit more of a knowledge base there.
Sure.
It certainly feels like it. So I've got nothing against Unity. I mean, I've played several games that are amazing Unity. I've got nothing against Unity at all. It's just that I don't sound snobbish, but it just feels a bit more sophisticated.
Sure.
But I've played plenty of great games made in Unity. Some even major devs playing Unity, so it's not
pretty scalable too. Unity and Unreal Engine 4, to be fair.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. They are. So
it just rags me off that yet again another game or another franchise is moving over to another launcher, and it's like, really, fucking really, just I'll never play it because I'll always either forget to run forget to download the launcher. I just won't fucking
add the link to it into your Steam list.
Yeah, that's again something that I'd have to remember to do every time I format my machine or move between machines.
Yeah.
That and Epic Store isn't Linux friendly.
No.
So, another...
Which is weird. Well, that's another great example. I think out the box, Unreal can be deployed to pretty much any platform.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think Unity, you can only deploy to Windows or Linux, I think, by default.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to pay, if you want to deploy to, say, macOS or mobile gaming, you have to pay extra for it. I've from memory, I might be misremembering that, but I believe you have to pay extra for that. Whereas out of the box, Epic's got it. And also, it's got far better built-in VR support. Literally, it's just got a full plugin based around VR for Oculus, for Vive, for Microsoft. What's Microsoft's one called? Mixed reality. It's got a couple others on I've not heard of, but it's got all just built in right from the start. You can literally just add a VR controller and away you go.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's being more actively developed. You can tell.
Sure.
So, but anyway, games. So, me on to other games to play. So I have been playing. Interesting again. It was also through on the Epic stores not so long ago, but I've got it on Steam. I'm playing Tacoma.
I know. Because this is another one of your, oh shit, I've not played anything, I better play something before the podcast games.
Maybe. Maybe I don't. Maybe I went on How Long to Beat in my Steam library and looked at which games I can do in a few hours.
I thought you'd already played through Tacoma, though.
No, I haven't played through Tacoma.
Really?
I've had to go a long time. Yeah, I've had it installed a long time. I haven't actually got around to playing through it.
Interesting.
So yeah. No, I thought I enjoyed it. So you are basically set in the future, sort of 2088, I think it's set, and you are it's basically Return the Obra Dinn in space.
Right.
I think I was doing it afterwards. So you are basically you've been hired by this corporation to go to one of their space stations, which has gone out of contact, to basically retrieve the AI module on the space station, bring it back because all the crew's gone. So you're going there to basically find out what happened. And once you get there, first thing you do is you pick it as you go on space station. You get given these augmented reality things that sort of stick to either side of your head, and basically they sort of allow you to sort of have this augmented reality view of the sort of world. So all the controls, for example, as you approach a door, a virtual button will appear, which is what you use to interact with it. So it's like you're interacting with this virtual world around you. Sort of, you can see the idea of augmented reality going and so forth, how it heading that way. So you wander around the ship, and basically you have to go to different modules, and it's a very sort of realistic space sim. So it's based on the idea of the space station itself is like a set of rings that are spinning. It's a transfer station between Earth and the Moon for cargo transfer.
Mm-hmm.
And you're basically on a set of, and it's basically just spinning with spinning rings, which are a way to generate artificial gravity. If you spin something, it's the effective centrifugal force basically generates effectively an artificial gravity.
Mm-hmm.
So you can walk around normally, but it has to be quite big to get the effect. There's this trade-off, the bigger it is, you can do it at small scale, but you have to rotate really fast, mm-hmm. which makes you seasick, or you make it big and rotate slower, but it has to be big.
Yeah.
This space station is let's make it quite big. So you have you start off a central docking ring, and then you have to you go to each section of the space station by climbing into these long shafts, and you get took down like a little lift shaft to the section that you can wander around. And what you get there is basically the sort of idea was in the game. The system, you're basically, once you log in, your VR, your augmented reality is basically being recorded the whole time you're there. Everything you do is being recorded and kept by the Caboose, the AI. And what you can do is you can basically play back these events. So you'll come across an area, and there'll be like a VR record, an AR recording of it with all the crew, the 6 crew members, Sherpa's holograms, basic holograms, literally a rough outline of a shape. And basically the way you tell them apart is they're color coded. That's how you tell them apart. You sort of know the names, but they're different voices, but they look the same apart from that they're different colors.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the neat thing about it is you basically come across a recording, and you can play it, but you can also scrub back and forth from the recording.
Okay.
And the recording won't be just like two people talking; it'll be like the group of people, and they'll like move off and walk away. So you might go to like one area and you'll see like two people chatting away, but other people will be doing things around you. So once you like listen to the first people, you might then wind back and go see what the other people are doing. Or perhaps at some point another character will come and interact with these two people, then go away. And you can then like spin back the recording and then follow and see how they come in, how they go back, and you can sort of follow them around. They all have these like little tablety like computer things that they sort of interact with and deal with, which like shows up as like a virtual interface. You can like access those as well. You can like retrieve the data from them and sort of see what they're looking at, and you get sort of like corrupted data back. Because the idea is the data you're seeing is corrupted. A lot of it's like missing chunks.
Sure.
Some bits are actually like missing whole segments. I mean, it looks like it's like a long recording, but actually it jumps midway through because they lost a load of data. So you get sort of like bits and pieces. So you get to record back, and basically you sort of piece together what happened. It is ultimately a walking simulator, really, or floating simulator. You spend much time floating on a space station. And you basically have to piece together what the story of what happened by going back and forth logs and seeing what people are doing, interviewing them, and so forth. You basically sort of work your way back and forth. It's a really neat mechanic and a really interesting mechanic because you can. The game has got a bit of a Far Cry 4 scenario to it. Whereas when you dock to the station, you start downloading data. It's basically how it works. You go to each section, you plug in like this AI model, and it starts downloading the data. And if you really want to, you could stand there, wait for it to download it, take it out, and go to the next section, just do it, and leave. If you really wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But while you're doing that, it's the excuse basically wander around and talk, listen to all the characters doing their thing. And then once you've done that, you go back and you retrieve the AI download, and off you go to the next section. So you can actually play that. You could, if you want to, just literally leave the game running and not really do anything and complete it. It takes about 9 hours if you did it that way.
Right.
But you don't actually have to do anything, interact with any of the characters pretty much. You just complete it and go. So, yeah, it has got a sort of neat idea to it, yeah. So it sort of gives you an excuse. And, yeah, it's a really... it was a really neat little way of telling a story because it allows a more interactive story in some ways because these characters are off doing their own. It feels more natural because characters are off doing their own things. You're just like eavesdropping in. You can see how they walk the train and tour. It feels really natural. And each section is like sort of like each little section has perhaps one, maybe two sort of like main recorded bits, and then perhaps some smaller sort of 1 minute long pieces. Mm-hmm. But obviously there'll be like one main bit that's like sort of 4 minutes long. It's got multiple people in it. And it tells a fairly standard story. So I wouldn't say the story's not going to win any awards, but it's nice and self-contained. It gets across, but it's not okay. It's not trying to be super clever, super involved. It's just trying to get a story across. And yeah, I found a very neat game. I like the art style of it. I like the way you move around the space station. There's a nice thing. I love it in games where when you go around the place feels real.
Yeah.
And because you're sort of like the way you move between each section, there's no loading screens per se. You are sort of like moving between each section. It feels like a real place that was lived in and feels logical. It's sort of laid out in a sensible way and so forth. I love games that do that. I always find it disjointed with a game where basically you could tell it's been made as a level and not been made as a place. I always say a game works better if you build the place first and then turn it into a level, rather than, which is why I dislike, say, a lot of the newer, say, Rainbow Six games where they went the wrong way. Rainbow Six were basically, it was a place, and around it, their ones were basically just a level.
Yeah.
So that's why I dislike those more. But I really enjoyed it. So really neat little game. It's currently sort of 15 quid on Steam. I would say it's probably a little bit pricey for what it is. I think because this game, you can complete it in probably 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's more the £10 mark, I'd be happier with it. But so I think it's a bit pricey for me. But I would say if it comes up in a Steam sale for like, third off or half price, I would say pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't actually know. I think it might be on my wish list, but I don't know.
It is on your wish list, yes.
Because it's Linux compatible as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I pretty much wish listed anything I could find that was Linux compatible back in the day.
Yeah. Some people don't like it because it was made by the same devs who made Gone Home.
Yeah.
And some people don't like it because of Gone Home, because some people got, silly over Gone Home, but don't care about those people. So
weird people.
Yeah, they like, how dare you make a game that's got a slightly different story that doesn't quite agree with my personal opinions on how the world should work. Oh, it's terrible. So,
I didn't like Gone Home, to be honest with you, but that was it wasn't interesting to me.
No.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very grounded story, isn't it? It's not a fantastical story. It's nothing special. It's nothing.
It's not like I don't like walking simulators either, because I played Dear Esther. I played that through like 3 times. Dear Esteban, which is a piss take of Dear Esther. I've played that through, and that was a laugh. I've played plenty, walking simulator style games. Just that one just didn't sit with me at all.
The environment of Gone Home, I like the fact that, again, it felt like an actual place.
Mm-hmm.
I like to go around exploring it, and it's still sort of like, they thought, like, when you pick up like the video cassettes VHS have been crossed out for several times and rewritten over, because I remember doing that. It just it felt sort of a lived in real world.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about it. Like I say, the story was never going to be anything. The story is very, very basic. Its story is real simple. You can summarize the story in about 2 sentences. But I like the neat. I like the way it was delivered. I like the way, and again, it was a nice, self-contained 2-hour experience.
Yeah.
Again, you could run through it quicker. Some people lost their minds over it for silly reasons. It wasn't a case of I dislike it. It was like I dislike it because of this very bizarre reason.
Disliked it because of one of the developers?
They disliked. So one of the developers,
I forget her name.
I can't remember who it was. It was one of the developers decided they weren't going to make some things. They decided they weren't going to go to PAX because they disliked that at some point in the past, the Penny Arcade guys had made a joke about rape in one of their cartoons. And so they said they didn't like it. They didn't feel their support. They felt they were trivializing sort of rape as a crime and didn't want to go. I could sort of see. I've read the cartoon. I found the cartoon funny personally, but I could could see how some people would disagree with that, and somebody who'd been a victim of that could see how that could make him a little bit upset. So I get where they were coming from, and that's where it should have been. It should be a difference of opinion about it, and that should have been it. That's where it should have been. It's like, we able to go because of that reason, and that should have been it. Difference of opinion and so forth. Unfortunately, some people took umbrage to that and really laid and attacked them like, "Oh, it's not that, it's not offensive." So I'm pretty, when it comes to humor, I've got quite a dark sense of humor. So I do find that I will laugh at that sort of thing, but I can also see why some people find it offensive. I mean, I heard a joke the other day, which I laughed at, but I could see how some people could find it very offensive.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that, and my sort of opinion of it is, well, I respect your opinion. If you don't like it, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong, because you probably like stuff I don't like.
Sure.
So that's how I settle on anyway. I'm doing that all from memory, so I might have misremembered some of that, but that's why I understand the vagueness of it. Because this game back about 5 years this all happened.
Yeah, I'm just looking it up. It was part of the Gamergate fluff, wasn't it, as well?
I think it wasn't. It was slightly involved in Gamergate when I read about it. It was not, Gamergate wasn't really a mentioned thing at the time. Gamergate hadn't quite kicked off as it did, which again, it was another sort of storm in a teacup type situation that happened. And again, it was bad behaviour on several people's sides, and I'm not going to get involved in the game. I'm not actually going to get involved in the game debate because it just got out.
I'll be completely honest with you. I thought it was a complete pile of horse shit.
Yeah, it got dragged so out of proportion. So many. I mean, as soon as anybody, doesn't matter who you are, as soon as you resort to death threats on somebody for no real reason, we disagree with, and that's basically pathetic at that stage. Doesn't matter whose side you're on.
The dev I was thinking of, it wasn't the dev for Gone Home. It was one of the devs for Depression Quest. Which was also it was also when Gamergate kicked off because of reasons. Gone Home and Depression Quest were two of the games that were pulled into it because of LGBT fluff.
Yeah.
I was thinking of her when I was thinking of Gone Home. One of the reasons why it was dragged through the shitstorm, but it turns out Gone Home was dragged through the shitstorm because of Gamergate more so than because of one of the devs. But either way, as you say, the stories in them are pretty thin, and it's not really a story that resonates with me. Characters like that annoy me. There's a couple of other games that my friends really, really like, which are, how would you describe them? I can't think of what they are now. Oh God, what the hell's it called? Well, I can't remember what it's called now, but you play as this girl who's got like time travel abilities or something like that.
Yes, I've played it. I liked it. I'm going to look up my Steam list. Hang on a second. Life is Strange.
Yeah, I fucking hated that series.
I think I really enjoyed Life is Strange. I played that literally. I started playing that in the morning. I played it all the way through, all 5 episodes. I just played for hour after hour after hour until I completed it.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed Life is Strange.
Yeah, so I didn't. So, a lot of my friends did. I just didn't. I didn't like the characters at all.
Yeah, I think at the day it comes down to what you want your characters. I think the sort of running theme of a lot of these games, like Gone Home, Life is Strange, is, with a few exceptions, Life is Strange, is most of the characters are, shall I say, quite boring. They're quite ordinary, basic people.
Whiny.
They're nothing like 90% of people out there.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, so they're quite just normal people, and if you like more fantastical sort of characters, more out there characters, more larger than life characters, I could see that being there's nothing wrong with that. People like different things.
Not really, because I mean, you got to think as well. I like visual novels and text adventures, and there are no really larger than life characters in those. Steins Gate is one of my favourites. Chaos Child, Chaos Head, Robotics Notes.
I would say that if you're looking at I've only seen the Steins Gate series. The characters in the series are like the characters in the books. I would say they're not what I'd say, shall we say, your normal average character. I would say.
Well, yeah, but you're mainly putting that down to Okabe because he's a fucking nutcase.
They were pretty out there. I think the only sort of sensible character, sort of semi, say boring character, is probably the fat hacker guy.
Oh, Daru.
Yeah.
I think I prefer the delivery in the average visual novel. I don't like Life is Strange. I don't like it.
It's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Just as a game, I didn't like the characters. I especially there was a whiny little bitch character in one of them, and I fucking hated her. And fuck me, that game was predictable.
Yeah, it's pretty predictable. Yeah.
It was look, if I can predict the ending of a story within the first, if I don't even have to play it for an hour, and go, there's the bad guy. Just Sorry.
Oh yeah, the bad guy. Yeah, I spot. It's like you clearly are the bad guy.
Because did I not? I called it before on the podcast, didn't I?
Yeah, he did. But then, to be fair, I spot the bad guy. I don't know how you couldn't spot the bad guy a mile away.
There were some people who didn't, which surprised me.
Well, I'm surprised because when the big reveal came out, like, here's a bad guy, I was like, yeah, it was him. I'm not surprised. Yeah, I knew it was going to be him.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a surprise. I wasn't a surprise to me either. So I agree with you on that one. It was who the person doing it was like I thought was quite obvious from the start. And the game also, if you don't get the sort of what the end's going to be, if you don't sort of get all the sort of twist at the end, what's going to be, I think it's about episode 3. It basically spells it out for you in a different way, where it shows how like you dramatically change time. In this case, you save somebody who was meant to die, and the game shows you how much that affects the timeline. That gives you a pretty good clue. Well, it pretty much spells out for you. Changing time that drastically has massive consequences, and it pretty much spells out for you what's going on. If at that point you still haven't twigged what the end is going to be, enjoy your surprise. Yeah, it's nice. It must be nice to be surprised like that.
Sure.
So, but I enjoyed the journey. It's probably the sort of thing. I enjoyed the journey of it, even though I knew where the destination was going to be. But then I find that a lot of TV series and a lot of things. I think when you've consumed lots of media, you tend to spot the tropes.
Yeah, it was American cheese for me.
Yeah, you tend to spot the tropes when they're coming out. You tend to spot things, and because so many series tend to rely on it, and it's just the nature of the beast. There is, and I think part of it actually comes down to the fact that there is only so many ways to tell a story, and there aren't that really many. It's very rare to get an original. I mean, I don't think actually that there's any sort. I'm going to put out there. There's no sort of original twist on something now. All the variations have been done.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Of take a basic plot line and think there's all the variations it could be. They've all been done.
Yeah.
So it's hard when you come across a series that's like it. You tend to spot it quite quickly what it's going to be, but it comes down to enjoying the journey at that stage. You know where it's going to go. It's like, when you see, like, if you ever watch a murder mystery, most of the time you pick out who the murderer's going to be.
Yeah.
Or if you don't, it's the only reason you don't, it's because you've not been privy to certain information.
Sure.
That the main character has, but you haven't been, so you could never have guessed it was that they're going to be a murderer.
I've thought of another reason why I don't like them.
Go on.
American high school cheese.
Okay.
See, if we're going for, like, high school life drama, America just ain't the place for me.
No.
I'd rather it be... It's going to sound stupid. I'm going to sound like a right weeb. I'd rather it be Japanese because that's not something I've experienced.
Oh.
American high school drama is very much uncivilized British high school drama.
Yeah.
It's boring. It's over the top stupid. It's who gives a fuck what your opinion is. Whereas, I don't know, in Japan, in a Japanese drama, a fucking dragon could walk through the background and I'd be like, yep, that's fine. It's Japanese, whatever,
Yeah. You'd be disappointed if a dragon didn't walk through the background.
Yeah, pretty much.
Drama,
if there wasn't a giant robot stomping through the background of the school, there's something going on, right? But
if one of the main characters hasn't got if one of the main characters is not like some ancient bloodline heir to some demon past and can like summon things and sort of like create power attacks or supernatural abilities, what are they then?
Exactly. They're clearly not Japanese.
Yeah.
But like that, you know what I mean though? Just American high school settings don't interest me.
No.
They just don't seem.
I want to know actually what it's actually like being American high school, because are these real? Are these accurate to what it's like being American high school? Because if it is, American high schools must be fucking hell.
Well, in fairness, man, when I went through high school, it wasn't pleasant.
No.
So, and I think that's kind of the other thing as well. Like, I've seen some of the shit that happens firsthand, and it ain't fucking cool.
No.
And it's like I say, I'm not interested in American settings either, unless it's like really over the top, like action film. American day-to-day life doesn't interest me because it's just too much like what I have here. The setting is too much like what I have here. The scenery is too much like what I have here. And the stupid whiny children sound too much like what we have here.
You want a more fantastical element to it, and it's sprinkled in there to
or
make
just
it different.
It just needs to be different. It just needs to be fucking like. Yeah. That's why I like the Japanese setting, because it's foreign to me, literally.
Yeah.
I've never done any of the things that they do. I don't have those. It's a cultural leap.
Which instantly makes it more interesting because it's such a cultural difference as well.
Yeah. So the idea that I'm watching two girls cry about something that's happened in high school, I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. A lot of that sort of game comes down to how much you engage the characters. Now, I engaged with the characters when I played it. I got to learn. I learned their personalities, and once you sort of got under the skin of them and realised what they're actually like, I started engaging. That's what I enjoyed to care. But if you don't engage the characters,
you're
not gonna like it. Mm. That's why if you don't, the first like most sort of, unless it's like a mindless action film. There's nothing wrong with mindless action. I enjoy a mindless action film every now and again.
Mm.
And any sort of like drama, I think if you don't care about the characters, then you're not going to really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Or it's going to have something else in it to make you want to enjoy it. Because if you don't care about the characters, you're not going to get anything out of it, which is how drama is built on.
Mm-hmm.
It's built on you caring about the people involved.
Mm-hmm.
Or even that caring is, I want to see those people suffer because they are real fucking bastards.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't care about that, you're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to engage with it. You're not going to enjoy it. And that's... You can't make somebody care about something. You can allow them if they're mentally inclined to join it, they will. If they're not, they won't. You can't make somebody care about something. There's nothing you can do about it.
Just a random question. Who actually published Life is Strange?
I shall Google it for you.
Thank you. So I'm just going to quickly check something out whilst I'm...
Square Inks.
Oh, there you go. Life is Strange, episode 1. Yeah, I've got it.
Life is Strange. So episode 1. Is that all you've played? Is episode 1?
I'm now looking to see what other Life is Strange games I own.
Because the trouble of episode 1 is you're introduced to, I think the main character is called Max, and her friend's called Chloe, if I remember correctly. And
I have the full set. I've just looked.
How far have you played? Do you remember how far you played?
I couldn't comment, mate.
Because think about because Chloe's the character who, initially when you meet her, you get put off by her because she swears a lot, she's aggressive, she's bratty,
she's the one that
whiny.
She's the main character of the sequel.
Yes, prequel.
Before the Storm.
Yeah,
that's one of the characters that really just made me. I hated the game.
The first episode, yes, you will hate her. As it goes on, you start to find out more about her background, and you sort of realize that the reason she is like how she is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of well, at least because I didn't like when I first played it, but as it went on, I got to sort of know her more, and I actually started having a sympathy for her because I could see how she got there, and that she'd had a lot of shit thrown out in life, and basically that was her acting out because she was just having had a really shit life.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just her acting out against the world, basically. which you see, this is something you see in real life. Sometimes people who act out as well because they've had such a shit start, so they just go like that. But actually, underneath that is actually not almost like a good person. Underneath that, they just got this defensive barrier up, which they use to. Basically, she had so much stuff go wrong for her, she just wants to push people away.
Yeah.
So, because basically a lot of things happened. Her father died. Her best friend left the area. She had nobody. Her mother got involved with someone she didn't like. So she decided to push everybody away. She created this abrasive character to push people away, to make them dislike her. And she sort of got herself expelled. She did all this stuff to basically make people not like her, because she didn't want to be hurt again.
Yeah.
That's why she comes to us. As you play it, you realise what it is, and she starts to soften. You actually get underneath and realise, actually, she's actually a nice person underneath, but she doesn't want to be hurt again, so she pushes everybody away. And I've met people like that in real life. Exactly like that. They are actually a nice person when you get to know them, but they push everybody away because they're so paranoid about being hurt. They don't want to be involved for anybody.
Sure. I understand that character.
But obviously, unfair, and I think that's deliberate. I think you're meant to dislike her.
Oh no, it's got the Rona! Quick, quarantine!
No, you're all right. Put the barriers down. I think you're meant to dislike her at first, that very reason.
Sure.
So, well, again,
here's the trick. Here's the trick. So I've just had a look on Steam. The game is only... Well, I've got Life is Strange. The prequel, sequel, Before the Storm jig, whatever, is £2.70.
Yeah.
Assuming it's still on sale in the next week, I will buy it, and I will try and stomach my way through the base game and it.
Yeah. You'll find Before the Storm, actually, again, that actually explains a lot of her character background. You'll see a lot more of her you'll see some of the reasons why she ended up like she did.
Sure.
Because at the beginning of the game, and another thing you find at the beginning of episode 1 is she had, after Max, who was her best friend, left, banned her, her father died, she met up somebody else who she got quite involved with. They disappear. They disappear one day.
Sure.
And that is where that's basically, and that's another reason why she gets the bridge, because she said people just die on her, people move away, and people just disappear. So that's why whereas in Before the Storm, you see a version of her where she's not quite that. She's a bit abrasive because she's still like post father, but she's not quite so abrasive like that. I would actually say, personally, it's better to play Before the Storm after you played Life is Strange.
Yeah, well, I think
but you could do it.
That was kind of the point, though, wasn't it? To flesh out the character that you despised in the original game.
Yeah, I said I disliked it when I first played it. By the end of the 5 episodes, I liked her. Or 6 episodes, I think. 5 or 6, something like that.
I think it was 5. I think.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Could be wrong.
I'll go through. I'll sit down and I will actually go through and play some of these games again. Just, it doesn't take a lot for me to instantly go, I hate that character.
Yeah. And is it a case of once you dislike a character, it's very hard to pull you back from it? Is that something you find, or is it like once you dislike somebody, you turn like them, or?
It depends. It really depends. There's a lot of stuff I play or I watch, and when I initially go through it, I'm like, I fucking hated that. And then I'll go back to it like 6 months to a year later and go, actually, that's all right.
Yeah.
As I've always told people of Tales of Symphonia. You know, when I first played Tales of Symphonia, I fucking hated that game. I hated it. And then, 6 months, a year later, something happened to me. There was nothing else I could do. I just plonked the game back on, and I fell in love with it. I restarted the game from scratch, went through, and I fell in love with it. But then I've also found recently that there are some things that I really enjoyed back in the day that I watch now, and I cringe at them. Who's the guy who plays Han Solo?
Oh,
Harrison Ford.
yes.
Terrible fucking actor.
I've never been a fan of him, to be honest. I've never been a fan of Indiana Jones or Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked him in Blade Runner, but I've never been a fan of him in anything else.
See, my problem is him in Blade Runner is the same character. He's got no range.
No,
and that was something that dawned on me recently. We were watching Inky put on Indiana Jones, and he pulls this trick that his characters do in every fucking film he's in. I'm like, oh, really?
To be fair, there aren't many actors out there who have a range. Most actors tend to fall into a certain niche character role that you see him time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy who was in Torchwood, and that was a bit after that. All the films he's been in, he basically plays a nasty sort of like bounty hunter person who doesn't care what people will murder people getting his way type person.
Mm-hmm.
And he plays, but he does. The reason is he looks like a sort of person,
mm-hmm.
and he plays him quite well. I've seen these two TV series and these two films he's in, and he plays basically the same characters. That's basically what he's good at, and that's his niche.
Sure.
If you want a character who's like some sort of like slightly creepy, nasty piece of work, who's just there will kill someone for money, there's the man you want, and he'll do a great job at it.
Sure.
So, and I think that's true of most. I mean, you look at most of the action stars. Most action stars can only do action.
Mm-hmm. No, but that's fine.
So
but at least if your character, if I don't like, so for example, Bruce Willis. If I watch a film with Bruce Willis in it and I don't automatically go, that's John McClane, good job, right? But if I don't know, with Harrison Ford, I watched him. So he's Deckard, he's fucking Han Solo, he's Indiana Jones. And then his character in every single film does like this one manly man thing. Every single fucking time. And I'm like, was that really written in the script, or is just that you? Because
it's just how a lot of those sort of action actors are. I mean, look at Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise plays basically the same character in every film he's in. Pretty much. You know, when you're watching Tom Cruise, you just tell what he's always going to be like before you watch it. He just plays the same sort of action hero in every film. Will Smith's the same in every action film he's in. He plays basically the same character. It's
not so much playing the same character. It's doing the exact same thing. If you've got is there some kind of variance in your voice? Is there some kind of range in your voice? You know, can you actually show some emotions on fucking screen, or are you just Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
You know, do you have the dynamic range of cardboard? Because I swear, if fucking Harrison Ford screamed in a film, it would be exactly the same as him talking. Like, flat out, the dude has no range at all. None. Zero. Zip. I could literally go up to him and kneecap the motherfucker, and he would be exactly the same in conversation directly afterwards.
There are very few actors and actresses out there who are that.
They don't have to be good. I just want some range.
Yeah. There are very few out there that do it. In fact, it's probably easier to name the ones who can do it. And I can't think of any off the top of my head who I would say actually have the sort of character you go and then something else you go, that's not the same person who played so and so. They're completely different. There aren't many I can think of to do that. I'm sure there are some. I'm trying to think of off the top of my head. Nothing jumps to mind. I was going to say Keanu Reeves bit, but then he has a little bit of frame. Yeah. He sort of got himself into a set typecast type person. So anyway, I
will play some things that I don't like.
Yes, and then you can tell us how much you hate them next episode.
Yep. Well, at least it gives me something to fucking play.
Yeah. Yeah. If what you need some more games in your Steam library, Skazz. That's what you
I
need.
do. I've been a good boy. I've not really bought a lot.
You
over the
should have
last...
took Gaben up on his offer. I told you.
I know, but he hasn't got Sam Show.
He said you can have a look at the entire Steam library. Look, press account. I should just let me come to your wedding, Skazz. You know how much I want to come.
Mate, you're gonna say that now, and I'm gonna get an email from Gaben. Like, how fucked off would you be if I got a press account from Gaben? Ram said I could have come to your wedding. Turns out, like, here's the YouTube subscriber that left recently.
Yeah. You haven't mentioned him enough on previous podcasts, that's why.
It's like, look, you're talking too much about consoles. There's not enough Dota talk. For some reason, I had this urge the other day to play Dota. Don't ask.
Me, that's a game like waiting to happen, isn't it?
It's like, fuck me. That's a very ragey aggro community right there.
That's a game like waiting to happen.
Fucking hell.
Me, you, and Zaber joining like drawing all on the same side of 5, like a 5v5 type game.
That would be.
How quickly would we piss off our teammates?
Oh, I can't wait.
If I got into being in dick mode enough, I'd do it.
Well, there you go. There you go. Never know. That might turn out that we're secret fucking Dota champions.
I strongly doubt it.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Maybe that's just, mate. You know that I honestly believe every person has a skill they excel at. They've just got to find it. I strongly doubt my skill I excel at is Dota 2.
No, I reckon yours is Street Fighter 5.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is Dota 2. We don't know until I try. You never know. Perhaps I am like going to be the next, elite Dota player out there and earn my millions. I somehow think that won't be the case.
I've seen their prize pool, mate. I'd try it for that prize pool.
Yeah, it's insane, isn't it?
Christ.
So,
what was it, 30 some odd million? 35 million?
Something like that, yeah.
Fucking hell. Yeah. Insanity.
Dota, one of the first, proper games to be actually broadcast like sort of regular esports, regular sports channels. Didn't ESPN actually start broadcasting Dota matches on their channel?
Well, okay, so if we're talking Western telly.
Yeah.
Sure, because I was going to say the Koreans have been broadcasting StarCraft for centuries.
Yeah, I'm talking about sort of, it's like sort of, Western sort of stuff.
I'd say probably Dota. Did Counter-Strike ever get a televised league? Was MLG ever televised?
Yeah. I'm trying to look, see if I can find out what it is.
I mean, I know Dota fills fucking arenas somehow. Dota is the replacement to StarCraft. Because that just seemed to fall off the planet.
So it looks like ESPN. Looks like they currently broadcast.
Don't they do Overwatch as well? They have Overwatch League?
Yes, they have an Overwatch League. League of Legends. Call of Duty. Esports got League of Legends, Call of Duty, Valorant, Counter-Strike, Overwatch. That looks like an esports calendar. Let's see. Yeah. Counter-Strike, fighting game community, Dota 2, Overwatch League.
I love that fucking fighting game community. FGC, and then like all the other little games have got their own fucking league or whatever.
Call of Duty League, they broadcast a surprising amount.
They do now. They do now.
They do now, yeah. Actually, I reckon this year's been a good year for that sort of thing because, let's face it, there's not been much other sport going on.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say it's been so great for the fighting game community, for the FGC. Just because the netcode for most fighting games is shite.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
Although they're working on that, actually. SNK have started going, the fighting game publisher have started going back to a lot of their old titles and adding in rollback netcode, so that they're actually fucking playable online. Because that's the problem is with most fighting games, unless you're like, playing in the same town, you can't get a decent connection with the other player, so it stutters and lags and all that, and you can't have that in a fighting game because you have to be able to, you're timing things frame by frame. And I think that's like the same issue the Americans have with stuff like Stadia. But mate, I've got a gigabit connection. It's like, yeah, you've got a gigabit connection, but the server's on the other side of the country. And America's a fucking big ass place. Whereas here, it's like, I'm going to be connecting to, I don't know, London, and that's practically down the street in comparison to the States.
Yeah. In computing terms, it's next door.
Yeah, pretty much. But see, that's the thing. So then, like, an American will go, I'm going to play East Coast, West Coast, and we're gonna play like Street Fighter 5 online, and it runs like shit.
Let's face it, when it comes to things like shooters and strategy games, there's a certain degree of fuzziness.
Yeah.
In the reaction time and so forth that you can hide through netcode. Whereas say with fighting games, it is down to the split-second reaction.
Yeah.
And a slight lag. By the time you see the person kicking you and you responding, it's too late.
Yeah, sure.
So I could see
any game that uses delay-based netcode, it's dog shite. And so they were like, let's do some online tournaments for these fighting games, and they were crap. I mean, some fighting games work okay, and they're like, we'll have an online tournament, but here's the trick. You're not, like, they have the online world champion, and then the world champion. So like, look, I'm sorry, we can't call you the world champion, because what the fuck what if you were on Wi-Fi and all of a sudden your character starts lagging around the screen? That's not really that you're winning the match because of skill. You're winning because of a connection issue.
Yeah.
So, they tend, like, kind of like when people do high score runs. If you're playing it on actual hardware, you end up on a different high scoreboard versus someone who's playing in an emulator.
Yeah.
But shamefully, there are a lot of esports that just are being shat on because of this kind of groove. The fact that we can't all get together in a LAN or whatever. But actually, with that said, I want to see you play some fighting games, Ram.
Yeah, I saw your message about that today, but the other day it's like, just ignore that.
No, you're doing it. I will buy you on payday a copy of Street Fighter 5. And I'll buy fucking Zebra a copy as well, and Mortal Kombat, because Zebra's a Mortal Kombat player.
I will tell you what I'll do. If we can do an in-person 24-hour live stream next year, I will play a fighting game, story mode, for the live stream.
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to pick a good one then.
One that I've got a chance of actually completing.
Well, no, see, here's the thing. Story modes in fighting games aren't hard. The hard part in fighting games is playing against other humans, because most of the time, unless you're playing an SNK fighting game, the AI is thick as shit. Especially in a modern fighting game. I mean, I blitzed the average fighting game story mode in 15, 20 minutes.
There we go, I can handle that.
If you play an SNK fighting game, it input reads the fuck out of you and you die round one, so just give up.
That's not cricket, is it, really?
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things I love about SNK. I love SNK fighting games. When you play against the computer pulls random shit right out of its ass. You're like, there is no human on this planet that could have just reacted to that. But you've done it.
Yeah.
Every time.
It's like a strategy games you play. It's like, how's the AI got that big that quick? It turns out they get a boost at the start of the game. Because, you get your human players a bit too bad. So rather than make the AI better, we'll just give you twice as many resources. There you go. You can count the person just by quantity rather than quality.
I'm holding you to the fighting game story mode now.
Yeah, come on, COVID, stay around.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No, they're developing the vaccines, aren't they? They're getting close to deploying them.
Which is terrifying, because once no more than like 2 weeks ago, they're like, we might not have anything till spring next year. And it's like,
Well, that was what they were predicting, but then Pfizer came out and said theirs have passed all their tests. They're now getting it approved, and if it's approved, they can start manufacturing. Well, theirs has got some drawbacks, and that has to be stored at like -80, which is a bit of a drawback. But then I think it's the Oxford vaccine,
right?
Well, not the Oxford vaccine. Another vaccine is narrowly it's faster. Is also basically ready to start being approved, and that can be stored at more normal temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
So they're ramping up to deploy it pretty quickly. I think they reckon they're going to start vaccinating before the end of the year.
So soon we'll be able to go back to some degree of normality.
Yes,
but just quickly again, it's never going to go away. Please, people, stop thinking it's going to go away. It isn't. It's just going to be like the flu or any other round the year seasonal or whatever illness that we have.
Well, they were saying, haven't they? They've seen actually a massive drop in flus this year. Because everybody's wearing masks and doing all the sort of anti-COVID stuff, it's working on the flu as well. So they've seen a massive drop in the amount of flus out there this year as well.
Don't say that, mate. It's not real. It's just because the government wants to control us, man.
Yeah, the government's trying to control us by making us wear masks. They are really doing a fantastic work there. Well done, government.
Mate.
Well done.
It's even better. One of my cousins posted something, taking the piss. There are people terrified being microchipped by this fucking vaccine. I'm like, you're worried about being tracked by being chipped from the vaccine. You carry a fucking smartphone around in your pocket, you spanner.
Yeah. Look, if you said to them, everybody who gets a vaccine gets a dozen Facebook likes, wouldn't be a problem.
I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. Facebook likes or Instagram followers.
Mate, I'm in.
Yeah, that's it. Get a vaccine, get a follower.
What about on my Pornhub account? Can I have some followers on my Pornhub account?
Whatever one you want. You pick one.
Yes.
You pick what you go in. There's a little list as you go in. There's a little checkbox. Which account would like to be followed? You tick it. Put your account name in, and then within 24 hours,
Boris Johnson follows my Pornhub account.
Exactly. Boris Johnson follows millions of accounts now. He'll be he is the account follower.
There you go.
So. But I thought said yes, the government wants to control you by making you wear masks that makes you hard to identify.
No, that's not
good.
what people are complaining about. They're like, oh, we have to stay inside. We can't do this. We can't do that. Can't lick the arse of my family members or what the fuck ever. It's like,
that's really? A big problem, Skazz. It's a big problem. You don't understand that.
No, well, clearly I don't because I don't like people.
Yeah.
Like, lockdown is, with the exception of, no work, lockdown's been fantastic. I haven't had to see people. No one is expected to see me. I mean, everyone else is going around doing their life stuff anyway, but because no one's actually taking this shit seriously until someone dies and then they start crying about it.
Yeah, well, lockdown. Let's face it. I said this at work the other day. I said we're not on a lockdown at the moment.
No,
we're not. This lockdown we're having at the moment isn't a lockdown.
You know my opinion on lockdown. It needed to be hard lock.
Yes, that's right. So many places are still open because they've found a way to they've managed to reclassify themselves as such and such. They've got themselves around the rules. So some places are still open compared to last time. We're not locked down.
No.
And they're saying, we'll have a 5-day break around Christmas so you can see your relatives. Then we're going to lock down.
What the fuck's the point in that?
Ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen.
What's the point?
Sorry?
What's the point?
Because it's Christmas and
Fuck
it's
Christmas.
family.
Fuck
You got
family.
to see family at Christmas.
Do
you
you?
can't not see the family. Some people do. I know it's weird, isn't it? You got to see family at Christmas. You can't keep the families apart. They can't possibly communicate through Zoom or something like that. Look, once a year, you've got to get all your family round to one place.
No.
And then you realise why you don't see each other for the rest of the year. And then when the year comes round again, you forget about all the shit and the fact that you hate your uncle because they're racist, or you hate so-and-so because they're sexist, or you hate so-and-so because they're transphobic. You forget all that, and you think, well, it is Christmas, we better have them round, hadn't we? And then you realise, actually, no, I don't like all these people. Why do I have them round? I won't see them for the rest of the year.
You know what it is? People are soft. You fucking
Well,
soft.
you see, this is what's good with us. You see, we pissed off our family; they disowned us, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. It's
I
great.
love it. I've done that with all
Yeah,
most of my friends too. They don't want to see me.
yeah,
They don't
yeah,
care. I was like,
yeah.
finally.
We got disowned about 5, 6 years ago, and it's Christmas has been so nice since.
Mm-hmm.
So not only to sit there around fans because of family, it's been great.
Mate, I envy you. I envy you because I still have to see some people, not many, but some, and it's just like I don't really have the energy to feign interest anymore.
No,
So
I think it was a few years ago. We've been to some gathering, and I left. I said, I made an excuse. I've been at work all day. I was knackered as it was. I didn't really want to go out again in the evening, but I did. And we made some excuse to leave. I think it was because the dogs had been loud. Because to go for a wee. They didn't, but we did. I just said, "Do you actually enjoy doing this?" And she said, "Not really." I said, "Do you feel like we actually get anything out of it? You know, apart from we just sit there and for like 2 hours, we hear people talk about people we don't know."
mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, "Oh, do you know so and so who knows so and so?" No, we don't. Well, they know so and so who knows so and so. No, we
yeah,
don't.
we still don't know them.
No. Well, we know so and so. Yes, I know. Well, so and so and so's friends, cousins, dog, neighbour, who once lived the other side of the country, who met somebody, who flew to Australia, who came back over here. Their gardener. Well, do you know what? He's got married. That's basically the conversation that used to happen. It's like, I don't care about these people. I really don't care. That's nice for them. I don't give a fuck.
I agree.
So I quite frankly could be I'd much rather be sat at home, drinking rum, watching some shitty Christmas thing.
Doing something constructive.
Yeah, keep doing that until I get to the stage where I can't work, can't get out of the chair anymore, crawl down to the bedroom, go to sleep, and wake up on Christmas Day and have a big bacon butty. That's how I want to spend my Christmas.
There you go. I just see Christmas as another day. I couldn't give a toss, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we do. It's funny, actually. I went for a phase of not liking Christmas. When I was younger, as a kid, I loved Christmas. I then grew up and sort of like, it sort of dulled. It's like, oh, it's another day. But strange, for the last couple of years, I've gone looking forward to it again. I'm not really sure why. It's just funny. The last couple of years has happened. It's like, oh, I'm actually looking forward to Christmas. I don't know why. I actually prefer New Year's. I think New Year's feel like something's actually happening. I know it's just a date change.
Yeah,
and it's just but yeah. Oh yeah, that's how I've always. I just say I've always preferred New Year's over Christmas.
I find most holidays to be more an inconvenience than anything. I do. Like whenever I need to do something, it's like, oh, bank holiday. Oh, it's this day. Oh, it's that day. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, really?
Bank holiday? What are bank holidays? I've not heard of these.
Fucking, it's just.
I work in retail. What are bank holidays?
Yeah, see, lucky fucking you. Fucking, just holidays do my nutting. They do my nutting because there's shit I want to do and I can't do it. Although I will say, there are some times where Christmas and all that's fantastic because everyone is fucked off to go and do something with people they don't like, which leaves the place that I'd like to go completely fucking empty.
Yeah.
Christmas to me is just a thing for the kids.
Yeah, that's fair. I actually find I actually enjoy the run up to Christmas more than I enjoy Christmas Day itself.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy you can probably see in the background my video camera a load of Amazon boxes.
Yeah. Oh, there's a few.
That's Christmas. Every Christmas present I need to buy is in those Amazon boxes. I'm done.
Gift wrapped.
No, they're not gift wrapped yet, but when they are gift wrapped, I'm done. And I've got all the gift wraps sat over there as well. So I'm literally, I have all I've got left to buy for Christmas now. All I literally have left to buy is some beer, and that's it. I'm done for Christmas. Is fit. I've completed all my objectives for Christmas this year. That quest sort of chain is complete, and so now I can now leave that until the quest of Get Pissed on Christmas Day unlocks on the 25th, and I'm ready to go.
There you go.
It's important to have goals in life.
Sure.
So
mine's
anyway,
to get through it as quickly as possible without fucking off the entire planet.
Well, won't be long now, Skazz, and it'll be our Christmas special.
Oh yay!
You know what that
and I
means?
can't stop the Christmas bells, can I? But at least I can put on the noise filter, or just mute you. I can mute you.
You could mute me, yes, but you'll still be on my recording. But I think what we should do is we need to get an overlay that like snows, and you can put a snowing effect over the picture.
Yeah, I'll see what I can find.
Good, good. I expect to have it sorted. I'll make something in After Effects if I have to.
There you go.
There we go. We can just overlay. It'll be good. But yeah, so I think it's time for us to close up there. Unless you've got anything else you'd like to
mate.
add in.
I'm looking forward to playing stuff I don't like during a holiday season that I don't like.
Well, it's important to have things to look forward to.
Yeah, that's it. It's the small victories in life.
Indeed. So, thank you much for watching. I'm the Suffolk Crown.
Skazz.
So, you can join us on our next podcast, which is the 5th of December, which is slightly scary. 5th of December in 2 weeks' time. You can also join us on our games night, which is every Tuesday at approximately 8:30 GMT. You can join me on twitch.tv/the Suffolk Ram, and
I'm twitch.tv/Skazzius, SK4ZZI0US.
Thank you. And also you can join us on our YouTube channel or our Twitch channel. And very soon there'll be a redesigned randnerds.co.uk website coming soon. As soon as I get around to
wasn't I informed?
Well, because you don't have anything to do with the website anyway, so frankly,
he has a fair point.
It seemed irrelevant to inform you, to be honest. But yeah, I'm in process of like redoing the website. So at some point, maybe for the new year, maybe for the end of the new year, there might be a new website launch.
I was gonna say, get it done quickly because fucking Rona's gonna end soon, and we can't be lazy forever.
No. So yeah. It'd be interesting if we make it year round. So yes. You're doing a wildebeest impression there, Skazz. Anyway, thank you for joining us, Ram.
Skazzius.
We'll see you in a fortnight.
Take it easy, guys.